What's going on, y'all? This your boy Casey Phil, King Self for Life Wrestling Takes, here to give you my honest review about tonight's edition of AEW Dynamite. Was tonight a good show? Yes or no? The first half was outstanding. First half was excellent. Bryan Danielson versus Alan Angels, great. That young man Lee Moriarty. Listen, I've been complaining about getting us right. I've been saying this for the longest time about finding cats who know what they're doing that look like us, getting them out there, letting them get their feet wet, let them showcase who they are, put their name out there. CM Punk versus Lee Moriarty was the best match on the whole show. It was excellent. It started off kind of slow, but that match was great. It was great, and look, I hate to sound like Bugs Lightyear to Infinity and Beyond. That match was outstanding. Then, from that point on, outside a couple of segments that they had was decent. But from that point on, the show just fell flat. Kris Statlander versus Ruby was great. But, whew, I know my AEW faithful, y'all not gonna like this review. I told you over here, KCFL, King Self Life Wrestling Takes. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that I give you the real. I don't sugarcoat nothing. If it's something I'm not feeling, I'm going to tell you I'm not feeling. And that desperate attempt to try to get somebody to cheer this fool right here, desperation. Desperation, desperation, desperation. This fool is fighting. He's fighting. He was this desperate in his own backyard. This desperate. I can't wait to cook this clown. I can't wait to cook him. When I get to this buffoonery, I'm going to cook the mess out of this clown. I can't wait. Let's go ahead and kick this show off. So, we open the show. Hangman Page just comes out on commentary. Now, this is one thing I was not feeling throughout the whole show. I was cool with the first two cats on commentary. But the fact that we had to try to get everybody and their mama on commentary, why? Because we know JR is out. JR is on relief duties because of his skin cancer situation. TK, listen to me, sir. Listen to me. Tony Schiavone and Excalibur can pull the whole show by themselves. You don't need to try to make it a three-man team because JR's not there. I get what you're trying to do. If a certain match calls for it, whoever is involved in the match, let's say if it's a storyline, fine. Hangman on commentary, great. MJF on commentary, outstanding. But everybody else, it just seems like, hey, come on out, get on commentary. We need you to fill in for JR. Everybody, no. Cut the bull jive out. Cut it out. I'm not having it, man. Cut the bull jive out. I'm telling you, this fool, TK, man, look, I love you, man, but, bro, sometimes you get on my nerves with a lot of stupid stuff that don't make no freaking sense. I'm telling you, man, TK, man, I don't know, man. I don't understand TK. TK give us an outstanding show one week, then the next couple of weeks, it's like he do stuff that don't make no type of sense. I'm like, bro, come on. I know we want to fill that three-man booth. I get it. But I think Excalibur and Tony can call the show by themselves. I think they're fine. If it calls for it, have somebody come out there. You don't need to have the three-man team over and over again. I'm like, no. Till JR get back, just have Tony Schiavone and Excalibur call the match. That's it. That's all you need. So, Hangman comes out. There's been announced that Winter is coming is in 2 weeks, and that he's defending his championship, the AEW World Championship against Bryan Danielson on the main event of Winter is Coming. So it's already been announced. It's been established. He's out there. The reason why he's out there is because Bryan Danielson is about to take on hometown hero, Dark Order member number 5, a.k.a. Alan Angels. Both of them come out. Bryan comes out to semi-cheer, semi-boo because he's playing the tweener right now. So he's playing the heel role. Alan comes out. Every member of the Dark Order comes out behind him. and the crowd goes crazy because he's a hometown guy, hometown hero. These two, they have great chemistry. Match was kind of slow for me, but it picked up. Cass was doing what they had to do. Bryan Danielson playing the hero role. Allen was getting the pop. He was getting the pops of the fans. The fans were going crazy for him. They was cheering his name and everything, and they was telling him to kick Bryan Danielson's head in. But you knew that wasn't going to happen. Meanwhile, Hangman is a little bit on commentary, talk about why he been sitting here listening to this clown and he can't wait to get his hands on him. He's tired of him beating up all his friends from the Dark Order, and he just had enough. So Bryan Danielson pretty much handled the business. Allen tried to do some kind of crazy moonsault or something. He got it, but he caught himself trying to pin Bryan. You ain't pinning Bryan. Bryan got out, ended up putting that boy in a submission. That man ended up tapping. Match over. So after that, he left him. He got right back into the submission. So the match is over. So he's doing a hero roll, and they booing us. So everybody think Hangman gonna hop out of commentary. Nope, he just sat there. He sat there. So Bryan got on the mic. Tony Schiavone got in the ring, interviewed him. He said, "Yeah, I see. So it's been announced. You get your hands on Hangman Page at Winter is Coming 2." And he said, "Yep." He said, "Last week in Chicago, I knocked out Coke Advantage 2. This week, I tore Mr. Allen Angels number 5 MCL. And next week, I hear it's another member of Dark Order that's from Long Island, New York. I can't wait to kick his head in." So, as he's talking, Hangman Page is standing there looking like he wanted to get his hands on him, but then that's as he was finna walk. That's when Johnny Hungy, a.k.a. John Silver, came out, and he said, "Well, due to what's going on, Hangman, you can't get your hands on him. If you put your hands on Bryan Danielson, you will be suspended." So he can't touch him. So Bryan Danielson started talking about him, and then he said, "Well, look," he said, "but I can touch him." So this sounds stupid. These men talk about touching each other. It sounds real stupid. But like I said, that's what they wanted to do. So Bryan was starting to talk, disrespect him and all this, talk about he's nothing. Talk about we're gonna be in Dallas when Winter is Coming happens, and that's when he's gonna kick his head in because he's nothing more than cowboy poop and all this and all that. All they did was look at each other and they walked off. So that was that segment. Decent back and forth. Like I said, Hangman really ain't say too much. Let me tell you something about how I feel about Hangman. Hangman right now, for me, I feel like he's the laid back baby face. Hangman is over like a mug, but he's very laid back. Now, when you tick him off, when you get him into a mood where he just had enough, he'll tear you up. But for me, Hangman just feel like this laid back cowboy who's just like to ride off in the sunset, do his thing, you know what I mean? But that was that. That was the first segment. So right after that, we get ready for Lee Moriarty. Oh, and yeah, I'm talking about this because it was a great video package with Miro, but this is during the match. We got Lee Moriarty going against CM Punk. Now, everybody in the IWC, especially cats that look like me, was hyping up this young man because one of the things AEW has lacked, they have lacked showcasing the cats that look like me. Now, what I mean, I don't mean just throwing cats out there to just job out to folk. I'm talking about actually making cats where you actually care about these cats. And Lee Moriarty has made a name for himself in the short period of time he's joined AEW. I did not know nothing about this cat. There's a whole lot of people in the IWC that knew him from the independent scene. I didn't know nothing about him. This young man has jumped off the screen. He's one of the best in AEW. I can't wait to start seeing what they do with this young man. I want to see this young man potentially go up for the TNT Championship. Who knows? Maybe if they get him to where he needs to be, maybe he can potentially challenge for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship when that time matters. But this matchup was it was a quote-unquote exhibition, but this also was a feud it's really not a feud, but this is also the matchup between CM Punk and MJF. So, MJF was out there. Now, Tony Schiavone and MJF, they can't stand each other's guts. Them two was going back and forth on commentary all day long. He's sitting out there disrespecting CM Punk, calling him PG Punk, and how the heck he's getting beat down by a rookie like Lee Moriarty. So Even though he was disrespecting Lee, he kind of was putting him over. He said, I kind of admit this matchup is great. Lee Moriarty is excellent. He was putting him over by disrespecting him at the same time, but he also was really saying that CM Punk he's a disappointment. He's a disappointment in the ring. He's old man Punk. He's PG Punk. Like I said, I embarrass him in the ring just like Lee Moriarty is embarrassing him right now. I mean, he's just being disrespectful, But that's typical MJF. This is how the MJF get down. My goodness, man. This young man, Lee Moriarty and CM Punk, that match was excellent. I loved everything about this match, even with the foolishness that CM Punk was doing. MJF was doing on commentary. I loved everything because they're teasing everything. The moment these two get their hands on each other, they teasing. And CM Punk did look like he kind of was gasping and he kind of was struggling with Lee. And Lee had him a couple of times. Lee almost won this match. They really did make you think that Lee Moriarty was going to win this match. But I knew Lee wasn't going to win. I know the script. Lee wasn't winning. But the name of the game was showcase what this young man could bring to the table. And CM Punk got to go to sleep, knocked out. Boom, 1, 2, 3 match over. So MJF hops up, gets off commentary, hops on the mic. Starts disrespecting the fans in Atlanta. Started disrespecting CM Punk. Called him PG Punk. All this woo-woo that. Then he mentioned something about his dog. And then CM Punk said, shut your mouth. You're nothing more than the dip poop. And all of this. And the fans started chanting dip, you know what. I mean, listen, the back and forth was great. It's excellent. It was excellent, man. I mean, I can't wait to see these clowns get their hands on each other. So MJF mentioned, and MJF was out there in a Jewish Hanukkah suit, look real silly, look goofy as heck. CM Punk, he talked about, he looked like he said you wearing Larry Drew's pajamas or something, which I'm assuming that's his dog. But I mean, look, they were going back and forth being disrespectful. And so, speaking of his dog, he said that if your mutt comes backstage at any of these shows, I'm gonna put your dog to sleep, and that's ticked him off. So he ran out there as he wanted to go get his hands on him, and then that's when Warlow came out. So Warlow was standing in front of him, and that's basically how that segment went off. And like I said, good back and forth, good matchup between CM Punk and Lee Moriarty. Lee Moriarty got next. That's all I gotta say. That young man got next. I want to see it. Now, here's my thing about Lee Moriarty. I think Lee Moriarty needs a character. Now, I do not want him to be shucking and jiving. This is the one issue that I always talk about when it comes to the black wrestlers. Don't give me no coon gimmicks. I don't want them shucking and jiving. I don't want it. Just be yourself. Don't be shucking and jiving. Don't be doing all that buck dance. Ain't nobody trying to see all that. Just be yourself and you get over. Because the young man can get over in the ring easy. I mean, the crowd was in it. They love that young man. He was definitely over in the ring. He got the in-ring ability. I think it's just the character. He gets the character down pat. Move out the way. Like I said, obviously he's supposed to be some kind of tiger or something like that. I guess that's what his gimmick is. We see how far that can go, how that can take him. But like I said, if I had anything, a critique on that young man, it's his gimmick or whatever his gimmick is. Outside of that young man, look, put the strap on him. If you, I mean, he got next. Young man's got next, and I can't wait to see more of what this young man brings to the table. So now, after this, I feel like the show kind of went downhill. So after this segment, we got Miss DMD, Tony Schiavone, Rebel, and Jamie Hayter. And they started babbling off. DMD was ticked off. She mad at her crew. She mad that she lost to Rio. And somehow she got to defend her title against Rio. And then Jamie was sitting up there mad. Tony Schiavone started talking to her. And she said, well, let's tell you the truth. She said, I would have won my match if they didn't get in the way. And then she said, hold up, what are you talking about? Y'all messed me up. So both of them going back and forth. And then DMD said that you lost to Thunder. And then she said, wait, you're not the only one that lost to Thunder. I mean, she's like, I'm not the only one that lost to Thunder. You lost to Thunder too. So notice they teasing the breakup. The breakup between Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter is right there. They teasing it. It's going to happen. I'm not sure when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. And then just like when at the end when she does her DMD thing, Jamie didn't do it. Rebel did it. Tony did it. Britt did it. Jamie didn't do nothing. She just stood there. Obviously, she don't want to be with these girls no more. She don't want to. But they playing the game. They playing it. I like it. That was great. So that segment was excellent. So then, right after that, here come a dude. Adam Cole, I'm like, well, wait a minute. Adam Cole wasn't scheduled to fight. So he walk out to the ring, does the Adam Cole baby, you know, everybody love it. Now he going to commentary. I'm like, wait a minute. Now Adam Cole finna be on commentary. I'm like, okay. We had Hangman on commentary. We had MJF on commentary. Now we got Adam Cole on commentary. I was like, oh, wow. I said, Tony, calm down with it. I gotta get everybody mama on commentary nonsense. Calm down. Calm down with this buffoonery, man. You gotta calm down with it. I'm tired of it. Calm down. So he sits down. He said, oh, and it's funny how Tony Schiavone was looking at him because look at Tony Schiavone got beef with MJF and Adam Cole. And Adam Cole was when he was talking. My bad. When MJF was cutting the promo against CM Punk, he said, "You sure do be trying your best to get attached with Britt Baker, wearing a coat and all this stuff. I'm just trying to tell you, she's not interested." I said, Adam Cole gonna have to check everybody. He gonna have to check MJF. He gonna have to check CM Punk, and he gonna have to check Tony Schiavone because all three of them keep messing with Britt Baker. I don't understand it. I'm like, bruh, how the heck you allowing these three clowns to keep messing with your lady? Could be me. I'll be feeling some kind of way. I had to check every one of them. I'm like, no, what you doing? So he came out there. He looked at him. He looking back at him. Adam Cole gets some commentary. He says, oh, about time. He said the show just got better with me on commentary. He said, man, what this bozo doing? He's like, what this loser doing out here? Tony Schiavone and Adam Cole are playing up the script. They playing up the storyline. The beef, I'm telling you, I don't know when we're going to crack. It's going to crack. Britt's going to have to hurry up and get in line because she's still hanging out with Tony. She's still hanging out. Adam Cole said, stay the heck away from my woman. He ain't listening, and Britt ain't listening either because she's still messing around with Tony. She's still messing around with his goofy behind. It's silly. Very silly. But, so, he's on commentary, right? OC come out. He stopped talking. OC walks out, and then he looks directly over at him, so they start staring at each other. Adam Cole gets up, takes off the headset. Then he walks up to him. And then he puts his hands in his pocket. You know, OC doing the clown stuff, right? So then as he messing around with Adam Cole, here come the clown Bucks running up behind him, Cody Cole trying to sneak up behind him. He knew they was right there. He turned around, and they acting all shocked, like, how did he see us? Just goofy. So he walk up to them, and he's over there doing the, you know how you do the fake sweet chin music where he slow down, and well, that's what he doing on both of them, right? So Adam Cole didn't have enough. Adam Cole ran up right behind him, gave him a low blow, lays him out. So then, what the Bucks do, instead of doing their sweet chin music, they do the buffoonery just like how he did, where he acts like he gonna do just like how Shawn Michaels did, but just fake. Listen, when I say this was a clown segment, literally, this was a clown segment. I told you how I felt about the Young Bucks. Young Bucks, Adam Cole, OC. This is nothing but a circus right here. This segment was funny as heck. I was laughing at it. Now, like I said, when you have good comedy, it works. This segment was great. It was a clown fest, but it was great. So, OC ends up getting laid out by him. They lay him out. And so then, now they finna really beat the brakes off of him. Here come Yuta and Chuck E. Cheese with chairs try to save the day. The three of them run off, leaving OC by itself. So obviously, like I said, this is the new feud now. This is the Young Bucks, Adam Cole versus the Best Friends. This is the new feud that they got. It is what it is. You know, like I said, the segment was decent, but you know, it is what it is. So after this segment, this is like I say for real. After this segment, oh, and I forgot to talk about Miro cut a great promo, basically saying how he used to be rolling with the Most High. But the Most High is a butthole, and he turned his back on him. Now he's going to start taking control. He's the true redeemer, and he's going to get back into where he's supposed to be and all that stuff. And I'm sitting up and saying to myself, when the clown is CJ Perry coming? Because even though he didn't mention his wife this time, you do know that she's on the way. She's coming. That girl is coming. I just don't know when she's coming. But obviously they trying to rebuild this man back up after he even plummeted to Bryan Danielson at Full Gear. So, like I said, it is what it is. But like I said, it was a decent promo. So, let's go ahead. Scroll all the way down. Talked about that. Tony Nese. Tony Nese got a promo. talked about how he was rudely interrupted last week on Rampage. He said that a fool like Sammy Guevara doesn't deserve to be the TNT champion. And he is looking forward to taking that title off his hands this coming Friday on Rampage. Right to the point. Boom, boom, boom. He's calling himself the professional, whatever he's calling himself. Like I said, decent promo, right to the ring. You know, that's the name of the game. You cut your promo, you get to the points that you're trying to get to, and move on. There you have it. So that's the matchup going into Friday. Now, this right here is where the show plummeted. We got Wardlow versus hometown hero, young man, don't nobody know who he is, AC Adams. Match was over at the clothesline. It was nothing. It was nothing. It was nothing. Lays him out. 1, 2, 3 match over. So then Mr. Chairman, a.k.a. Sean Spears, runs in the ring with the chair and starts beating the brakes off of him. That was it. He beat him up so bad that the chair broke. That was that whole segment. That was it. So we got Tony Schiavone in the back. Tony Schiavone was talking to Penta, Pac, and Alex. No Ray Phoenix. Couldn't travel because he was hurt. They said they can't wait to have their new matchup. It's going to be FTR versus them. And Pac says, because I guess Pac, since he got the mist blown into his face, he had on an eye patch. And Tony Schiavone asked him, could he wrestle? He said, Tony, do I look like an infidel to you? Do I look like some kind of weakling? He said, no matter where cats are at, I'm going to beat the brakes off of them. It does not matter. It don't matter. So, this matchup, Tony Khan, why do you consistently book crap that don't nobody give a rat's behind about? I told you from the get-go, don't nobody give a rat's behind about the Gun Club. And you consistently keep doing this buffoonery. I don't care nothing about this. Sting and Darby, they look excellent. The new face paint they both had. Darby actually had his whole face painted this time. Look great. Both of them look great. I don't care nothing about Billy Gunn. I don't care nothing about Austin. I don't care nothing about Cody. This matchup was garbage, even though the fans was in it. The crowd was in it. The crowd out in Atlanta. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. How the Atlanta crowd was actually a pretty decent crowd tonight. I got to give Atlanta props. Atlanta's crowd was decent. They was very decent. You know, like I said, they weren't the best, but they was very good. They was good. Like I said, because I heard them. They was making a lot of noise throughout most of the show. But for some reason, for this matchup, they went crazy. I didn't give a rat's behind about this match. I wanted this match to hurry up and get over with. They tried their best to make this milk it. They milked it hard. They had Billy Gunn and Sting staring each other down. I'm like, I don't have no desire to see these clowns go at it. And I'm like, even as good as Sting and Darby is, they couldn't save the match. Even as hyped as the crowd was for this match, they couldn't save this match. I didn't give a rat's behind about this match. This matchup had no business being on Dynamite. This is a doggone dark match. I don't care what nobody has to say. Oh, but it's Darby and Sting. No, this matchup should have been on Dark and Dark alone. That's what the Gun Boys and Billy Gunn, they only dark talent. They don't belong on no freaking Dynamite. They don't belong on no Rampage. You keep them bozos off. Tony Khan, you hear me. Keep these clowns off of Dynamite. Keep these clowns off of Rampage, because I don't give a rat's behind about it. Just same thing with Big Show. Big Show needs to just stay over there on Elevation. That's all they need to do. Stay on Elevation. Call it a day. That's it. Sting and Darby end up winning. Scorpion Death Drop on Colton, I believe. Match over. 1, 2, 3. Boom. We move on. So, Alex Marvez is in the back. He's talking to Jericho. And Alex Marvez asked last week on Rampage, when you went down there to rescue Eddie Kingston, he said, was you down there to rescue me? He said, you know what? A lot of people think that's what I was doing. He said, no. He said, I was getting my hands on those bozos because those bozos stepped in my way. 2.0 and Daniel Garcia are nothing more than poops. They're punks. And the next time they even think about getting their hands on me, I'm going to beat the brakes off of them. Well, as soon as he said that, the three of them ran up on Jericho. They beat the snot out of Jericho, beat the brakes off of him, right? So, after that, guess who's on commentary now? Taz, and he's got Hook and my main man, Powerhouse Hobbs standing right there. I said, here we go. The fourth clown to join. Now, listen, now Taz really is a commentary. Like I said, if you're going to do the 3-man team, might as well have Taz do the whole show. You might as well. Because Taz is the only one who is the legitimate play-by-play commentary, color commentary, whatever you want to call it. He fits the role. So if you're going to throw anybody on commentary. But when I saw Taz on commentary, I said, man, this is the fourth clown they done thrown on commentary, trying to fill that role that JR is missing. You don't need to do it. I told you, a lot of times Tony Khan be overboard with a lot of his shows. He tries to do things that sometimes don't work, but he'll do it anyway because he don't care. I'm like, this ain't working, young man. This ain't working. The fact that you had the nerve to try to do this buffoonery because you're trying to fill in for JR, no. You can miss me with that buffoonery. You can miss me. Taz was out there. He started talking about how everybody that's a part of Team Taz now is involved in the Diamond Ring Dynamite Battle Royal next week. And he said with all his members being in, including Dante, he has 125, 150% chance of winning, some kind of crazy stuff like that. So, as he's out there talking, Lio Rush walks out. Lio Rush walks out with this confused look because he's still trying to figure out why the heck would Dante Martin sign with a buffoon like Taz. That's what he's trying to ask himself. Like, why? Like, why would this clown sign with him? Like, what? And so he's like, look, what do you want, man? He's like, spit it out. And he said, look here, man, I'm in the match myself. Yes, I'm still puzzled on why would Dante sign with you. I really don't get it. But, with you all being out there, with you saying you got 150, 125%, I'm a fighter. These fans know I'm a fighter. And that's when the crowd kind of got behind him. They was cheering him on. And he said, I'm going to be that 1%. So it sounds like they going to mess around and make the final two be Dante and Lio Rush. That's what it sounds like. Based off of how that promo went. Oh, and after the promo, Sting told him, he said he might as well retire. Why? Because Lio Rush has retired maybe about 3 or 4 times throughout his career. So that was kind of like a punchline thrown his way because he's retired multiple times. After that, Dante walked out, Ricky Starks walked out, and they just stood there. And he just looked like a lost puppy. He looked like a lost puppy, man. Lio Rush was looking at him, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And he acted like the boys over in Team Taz care about him. Team Taz don't give a rat's behind about Dante Martin. They using that guy. So I don't know. Like I said, my instinct is saying that the final two in that Diamond Ring Battle Royal is going to be Lio Rush and Dante. That's just what it seems like based off of that promo. So decent promo, decent. Right after that, we got Mark Sterling standing there with Jade talking about how she's this close to becoming the TBS champion and ain't nobody in her way. But before she gets there, she's going to have a little matchup against one of Thunder Rosa's students, whatever her name. Let me see. I'm going to try to pronounce her name. What is the young woman's name? They don't have it. They don't have it posted. But she's one of her students, and so Jade Cargill's going to go against her. Well, that's when Thunder Rosa came up out the woodwork. And she said, yeah, you're going to get a chance to face my student. And Tony Khan has granted me the opportunity to be out on commentary for one match out the show, and I choose this match. So that's when she started speaking in her language, and Jay just said, get out, man. Yeah, I'm done. She just walked off. She said, I ain't got time for this. And she started going off in her language, and, Thunder Rosa being Thunder Rosa. Listen, folks, I'm telling you right now, Thunder Rosa going to be the AEW Women's Champion at the Britt Baker. That tells you she's not winning the TBS Championship. She's not. So there you have it. So right after that, we got the next semi-finals match. We got Kris Statlander taking on Ruby Soho. Now, this matchup was actually pretty good. This is a very good match. There were a couple of botches that happened in this match, but outside of those 2 botches that happened, for me, the part of this match was when Ruby Soho did her finisher, and she usually takes people out with it. She did her finisher on Kris, and we got down to almost close to the 3 count. Kris kicked out of it. Ruby Soho looked like her soul jumped out of her body. Her eyes dang near popped out of her head. She sold the mess out of it, but she looked so shocked. She looked like I usually win the match. Like, how the heck did this girl kick out of the match? I mean, how did she kick out of this move? This is my moveset. Kris was holding on. Kris and Ruby got good chemistry. They got good chemistry. The crowd was in it. They kind of weren't in it at first, but as you heard it, Kris was getting a lot of pop. They was really cheering Kris. I don't know how y'all feel about Kris Statlander right now. This is just my personal taste. Kris's gimmick as an alien right now. I don't know. I mean, the Atlanta crowd, they liked it. They was cheering her on. They was cheering Ruby on. So this is the babyface versus babyface. I wonder if we can tweak this gimmick with her, but have her be a heel. Because I wonder if she can truly get this gimmick over as a heel alien. Think about it. Instead of her touching everybody on the nose or whatever, she can run around here and start abducting folk. I'm telling you, like, just play along with this alien gimmick, but as a heel, though. Like, I don't know how y'all would feel about it, but for me, I'm really questioning, like, man, wonder what Kris Statlander as a heel alien, how would that be? How would that be presented as a crowd? Like, how well would she be able to get over? Would she get the proper boos or whatever? Because, I mean, she gets cheers, but sometimes she come out, don't nobody really say nothing. So, I'm sitting up here like, could she get this gimmick over more as a heel? Because Kris Statlander is a great wrestler. Like, she's improved drastically. Ever since she had an accident or where she tore her ACL or whatever, and she's come back, she's more leaner. She's looked much, much more better in the ring. Young lady can go. But I think it's this gimmick. I wonder, can she get it over as a heel? I'm kind of pulling for her to actually turn her heel and see how they do it. Oh, and her being with the best friends, I think that pushed it back too. Because Kris was over by herself. She was doing fine, doing the alien thing by herself, but hanging out with Yuta and OC and Chucky T, I don't know. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, the best friends, they miss Trent. Trent and his mama, Chucky T and OC, all together made the best friends gimmick work. Trent Beretta is heavily messed with the best friends. I'm serious. Mama Sue with the van. I'm telling you, the best friends gimmick work with Trent, but Trent is so freaking injury prone, man. I hate it. I hate that my man Trent Beretta is injury prone, man. I hate this stuff. That's why I hate when wrestlers get hurt. You know, I don't know when he's coming. Sorry about that. I knocked the mic over. I don't know when she's coming back. I don't know when he's coming back. I don't know, but I feel like I feel like everything, like, even OC's cooled off. OC was hot. OC was one of the hottest things in AEW. Now I feel like he done cooled off. You know, he's still doing some relevant stuff, but Ruby ends up winning the match. She's moving on. She went over. She looked. She didn't start crying, so she go over there. She pick Kris up. She shakes her hand. They hug each other. They embrace. Kris walks off. Ruby gets on the rope. As Kris is walking out, you see Vicky just running out there, just yelling, I'm like, who you yelling at? I mean, she just she just literally walked out yelling. She didn't have no microphone or nothing. She just walked out. I'm like, who you yelling at? Meanwhile, Nyla Rose, the natural beast, is standing out the ring, or actually standing in the ring. Ruby Soho on the ropes, hopped in there, hit her in the back, pulled her down, do the moveset on her. So then that's when Kris run back to the ring, and then that's when Nyla Rose dip out, because we know that's the next matchup. It's Ruby Soho versus Nyla Rose in the semis. This is the semis, you know. I'm looking forward to that. I want to see how those two match up. I definitely want to see how it works. But like I said, as of right now, the TBS Championship is Ruby Soho's to lose. It truly is Ruby Soho's to lose. Until she get beat, it's Ruby Soho's to lose. So it was great. Great match. Now, the main event. I didn't care about this matchup from the beginning. I didn't want to see this matchup. I've seen it 50 million times. Andrade is one of the best in the game. Cody is a decent wrestler. But I'm tired of this feud, and I need this feud to be over with. Hopefully it is over. They had a Atlanta street fight. Now, I knew that this was probably going to be the main event. Why? Because Cody's from Atlanta. Now, everywhere Cody's been going, he's been getting booed like crazy. Cody Rhodes has been fighting this heel turn for a long time, y'all. He's been fighting this thing. He's fighting it. I'm like, look, without him, there is no AEW. I appreciate that man taking a chance on himself and getting together with other cats just like him and starting AEW. Kudos to that. But him as a babyface is just not working. It's not working. The Atlanta crowd actually cheered him. Now, at the beginning, Cody, I wasn't really paying no attention to his back, but when they put the camera on him, his back looked like his skin was peeling. And I was like, what the heck is on his back? Well, that's going to be answered once I get towards the end of the match. Was this street fight a good street fight? Yes, it was a good street fight, but I was bored because I really didn't care nothing about the matchup. So I was watching this matchup, and I was sitting up and saying to myself, when these fools going to finish the match? And so throughout the match, fans started saying this, let's go Cody, Cody sucks. I said, well, there you have it, folks. Cody really is turning into John Cena. You might as well be able to start calling him Cody Cena. Shout out to my man OTRS Central for coining that terminology. He's fighting. Oh, T-Pain was in the house. Let me tell you something about Cody. Cody tried to play this game. He tried so hard to, because see, T-Pain is part of the new season of Go Big Show, whatever. Snoop Dogg not on this season, but he went and said, I got to go get somebody else's black. Let me go get T-Pain. He went and got T-Pain, and sure enough, T-Pain was sitting ringside. So you knew he had to go find T-Pain and dap him up and all that. I said, here you go, Cody. I said, Cody. When Andrade and them came out, him and Jose, they had a machete up, and they had all kind of crazy. They had staplers, they had everything. So you knew they was gonna beat the brakes off each other. You already knew that. And I already knew, I said, Cody gonna find his normal spot where he gotta find a way to bleed. Cody, there was a spot also in this match where he was looking under the ring. What was the first thing he pulled out? He pulled out a candlestick, threw that away. Then he pulled out a sledgehammer. You know what that sledgehammer represented. He threw that away. Then he pulls out a golden shovel. I'm like, Cody, you a fool. You a complete clown. Wax that man over the head with it. Wax Jose over the head with it. Oh, and doing the picture by picture, Mr. Glock himself and Jose was getting into it. They was beating the brakes off each other. So, that was that. So, Andrade looked like he was finna go for the table. And when he was going for it, the fans, how they say, we want tables, right? He looked at the fans and shook his head and said, no tables. And then they started booing. Listen, fans love tables. They love them. They love it. So later on, he wouldn't got the table. Found a way to throw Cody in because Cody was finna throw him through the table. He ended up throwing him through the table. So, listen, y'all, you should see how I look. I look like I really don't even want to discuss this match because I really don't. Because it's the part that really got me was the finish. Let's just go ahead and talk about the finish. So, Cody went and got another table, right? Put that table in the ring. Then somebody in a AEW hood and AEW mask. Now, we could tell it was a woman. And guess who it was? Brandy Rhodes. Brandy come out there. And Brandy has flaming fluid. She puts the fluid all over the table. I said, I know they're not finna light this thing on fire. That's what they did. She lit it on fire. Cody caught himself trying to do his move set with Andrade through the table. They go through the table, both of them burning like crazy. And he ends up pinning Andrade 1, 2, 3. And I'm sitting up here saying to myself, I posted on Twitter. I'm not even looking at my phone right now because I'm pretty sure, and I'm a part of this AEW group. They seen what I said, and obviously they was mad at me. Oh, well, I really don't give a crap. I said this on Twitter. I said, what a desperate attempt to try to get somebody to cheer for you. And I really meant that. Cody Rhodes is fighting this heel thing, so let me put myself on fire so somebody can cheer me. I'm done. I'm really am. I'm done. I'm like, Cody, why are you fighting this heel thing, bro? Listen, I don't know how y'all feel, but I think Dashing Rose was one of his best gimmicks while he was in WWE. Dashing Rose was great. And it was an accident. I forgot who broke his nose. Was it Rey Mysterio? Somebody broke his nose, so they went with the whole, he wore the face mask. And he really went there with this Dashing Rose. He was a great mid-card heel. Great. And I'm sitting up there like, man, why the heck is he fighting this thing? Like, bro, why are you fighting it? You literally set yourself on fire. So, yeah, that's what it was. So, on the stuff that he had on from the beginning, like I said, it looked like his back was peeling. That was the flame protection. Because they knew they was going through, so they put it all over his body. That's what it was. So, it looked like his skin was peeling or feathers. That's what that mess was. So, a desperate attempt. Desperate. Cody Rhodes, I don't understand why you fighting this thing, dude. Quit fighting it, man. Quit fighting it, bro. You don't understand how much more over you will be by embracing this heel role. Hey, shout out to my main man, Mr. WWE. Listen, he's a hardcore WWE head, even though he watch AEW. He like AEW, but he prefers WWE. Shout out to my dude, Mr. Bonafide. Bonafide said that Cody Rhodes is nothing more than a Triple H cosplay. I couldn't agree more with him. He's 1,000% correct. He is 1,000. He's nothing more than a Triple H cosplay. Like, at first I didn't see it. At first I thought people was just hating. Now I understand it. I understand that Cody Rhodes really desperately wants to be Triple H. He wants to look at. He wants to be Triple H. He wants to be Jeff Jarrett. He wants to be The Miz, and he wants to be John Cena, all wrapped in one. I'm like, no, just be Cody Rhodes. Quit trying to be everybody else. You ain't everybody else. I'm like, this fool is crazy. I'm like, Cody Rhodes, bro. Embrace it. Embrace being the hero that we want you to be. You trying to fight this thing. He trying to fight it. I'm like, quit trying to fight it, man. Quit. Man, this Dynamite, y'all, it was a decent show, but like I said, the stuff that I told you about, I was not feeling. It could have been better. Pacing kind of was off tonight. It was some things that the pacing was fine, but it was. And then let me try to plug in everybody on commentary. No. Let Tony Schiavone and let Excalibur just run the whole thing by themselves. I think the two of them would do great by themselves. But the fact we trying to get all these fools to fill JR's role, forget it. Just forget it. But like I said, y'all, I know I'm going to get some cats upset with me, and that's okay. That's the name of the game. We ain't all meant to like the same thing. If it's certain things that y'all like, I might not like. If certain things I may like, y'all might not like, and that's fine. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We can have a respectful discord without taking shots at one another because, oh, I'm not a Cody Rhodes guy, or I'm not a such and such guy, or whatever. No. This is what these channels are for. This is what the IWC is for. We're supposed to have respectful discord without taking shots, without having to cuss each other out, without having to, no. The IWC, unfortunately, doesn't work like that. If you disagree with somebody, can somebody really cuss you out and call you a shield and all this crazy stuff? Well, do I sound like a shield tonight? For everybody who ever thought I was an AEW shield, do I sound like an AEW shield tonight? Heck to the freaking no. I told you, when AEW drops bombs, I'll tell you they had a bomb episode. With Dynamite is straight doo-doo, I'll tell you straight doo-doo. When it's in the middle, I'll tell you it's in the middle. Tonight, it was in the middle. There's a whole lot of things they could have done. They could have done better. It's a lot they could have done better. But, like I said, Tony's going to do Tony. We can only tell Tony to change this here, change this there. He going to do himself, you know. But Cody, my man, quit fighting this thing. Having your woman come out there, golf that thing and flame fluid, just so you get somebody to cheer you, bro, that was whack. That was straight whack. And I saw some of y'all talk about, oh man, that was great. No, that was whack. They really are trying hard to. They trying hard. It's desperation. Desperation at its best. I never seen this much desperation from anybody from AEW. This was desperation to the highest order. Desperate. Desperate. This was desperate. And I wasn't feeling it. I told you I was going to tear this foolishness up, and I told you I'd tear this foolishness up. I don't play, y'all. See, this the problem about some of y'all in the IWC. Y'all can't figure me out. I've been trying to tell y'all. I'll tell you, if something is great, I'll tell you it's great. If it's garbage, I'll tell you it's garbage. You know, I'm not finna bite my mouth because some about what everybody else thinks something is great. I'm like, no, if I don't like it, I'm gonna tell you I don't like it. And I wasn't feeling it. Like I said, Street Fight was a decent street fight, but that table spot though, I was like, man, get that guy there with this bull crap. I said, come on, Cody. Are you this desperate because you trying to fight this heel turn? You this desperate trying to fight this heel turn? You whatever. Oh, and before I end this stream, I want to take the time to shout out Mrs. I forgot Ariel's last name. Cedric Alexander's wife. We all know her from formerly AEW's Big Swole. Big Swole has cut ties with AEW. She fulfilled her contract and she said she's no longer going to be. She said, I let my contract run out. She said, I want to thank TK and I want to thank everybody. I had great times at AEW, but she's been dealing with Crohn's disease. And a lot of people, I'm going to be honest with you, I saw potential with Big Swole. Big Swole, for me, Big Swole was mixed, in my opinion. Big Swole was excellent on the mic, excellent promo, charisma out of this world. In-ring ability, so-so. She was so-so. Like I said, she was better than Jade, slight better than Red. But I think for me, I think the Crohn's disease is what killed Swole's run in AEW because she was missing. She'd be here a couple weeks, then she gone, then she in, she out. For me, I think the Crohn's. I think she's put her health in front of her career, and that's the right thing to do. Now, whether she decides to come back in a year or two, that's up to her. Maybe she might end up going to MLW. She might go to Impact. I highly doubt she goes to the E. I mean, I know that's where Cedric's at, but I feel like Cedric's about to be released anytime soon too, because they ain't doing nothing with Cedric. But salute to Miss Swole. I will be definitely keeping you in prayer. Like I said, look here. She was one. Like I said, I used to say, I said Swollen one. I used to love Big Swole. I still do, you know. But like I said, I think the Crohn's disease is what pushed her back. Why she wasn't able to be featured more as she should have. I think the one thing Tony Khan messed up on is not having that final matchup between her and Diamante on Dynamite. That was the Dynamite worthy match. All the other matches was cool for Dark and Elevation. Tony Khan missed out on having that match on on Dynamite. If there's one thing I say he messed up on. Oh, and here's another thing too. Big Swole, she was very outspoken about the racism that goes on in wrestling. See, a lot of people don't know. Big Swole will tell you how it is. She was very outspoken. I mean, she told the truth. A lot of people ain't like that about Big Swole. She ain't by her mouth for nothing. She told the truth. She let you know when there's some white supremacy crap going on. She'll let you know. She'll let you know in the New York Minute. You know. But like I said, I'm gonna miss Big Swole. You know, like I said, whatever she do and her future endeavors, I pray she succeed no matter where she goes. If she goes to MLW or she go, who knows? She might end up going to Jonathan Gressman's wrestling thing because he got a new promotion that he's starting, and he's from Atlanta. So who knows? But salute to Miss Big Swole. I wish you the best. Stay up. Be blessed. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy K Seville King for life. This review is closed. Next time you will hear me, I will be talking about Rampage. Hit the freaking comment section up. Hit the like button. Y'all know what to do. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. I told you, I keeps it real over here. K Seville Wrestling Takes. Y'all know I don't bite nothing. I don't hold nothing. I tell you the truth. And I do it in a respectful manner. I ain't got to cuss like everybody in the IWC. I ain't got to do all this stuff. I tell you how it is. I let you know. I let you know what's the real game over here. All right, this your boy. I'll let you boy. I'm out. I'm gone.